Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tyrannical Classic Comedy. My name is Tyrant. I am here alone today. Avery and Damien had to cancel because they are selling fentanyl outside of the George Floyd Memorial. Because today is the day that George Floyd died 4 years ago, where we lost a great man. A great man was sent to prison for just holding down this fentanyl addict, after he was doing illegal shit. Can you believe that? But yeah, so in honor of that, that's where Avery is. He's handing out fentanyl, and Damien's there to make sure that he can breathe. He just wants to make sure Avery can breathe. You know. Speaking of which, there's a song by All That Remains called "The Air That I Breathe." George Floyd's favorite song. Fun fact. Anyway, no, I got up this morning and just like everything was just George Floyd, George Floyd, George Floyd all over Twitter. Apparently, George Floyd died for the sins of the black community or something. I don't know. Kind of what I'm getting out of it is basically, because if you don't know the story, what happened with George Floyd is he was a habitual criminal, which I used to be too. Nothing wrong with that. I stopped because I decided I wanted to be a better person. He stopped because he decided to do too much fentanyl and then get a knee on his neck for a while. Hey, we all make choices, we all make decisions, and you got to live with them. Not him, he died with them, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, we can't bring him back. We can't take the knee off the proverbial neck. All we can do now is say that both George Floyd and Derek Chauvin were obviously pieces of shit, and who cares? Why do we need a memorial to a guy who fucking like he got arrested with a anyway, I don't want to get into it because if you try and talk shit about George Floyd, then suddenly you think that police should be allowed to just like round up a posse and lynch black people like whenever they want, which I don't think they should be able to. They should be able to do that with illegal aliens. I think that would be reasonable if we allowed illegal aliens to be round up and hung, but we'll include black people. Because if we include black people, it's not racist. There's no discrimination. We're subjugating, we're not discriminating. That's what we do here. All right? That's the proper way to do it. But no, then there's just this big division. And it's even like, I mean, it's so out of control. It's so out of control that not only are they making a biography about George Floyd called Daddy Changed the World, and it's produced by his 10-year-old daughter. She's not going to turn out real fucking great. Women don't without a father in the household. Just saying. Just saying. But so they decided to feature George Floyd in Assassin's Creed. So here's the new trailer from Assassin's Creed. It's it's Assassin's Creed Brotherhood instead of Brotherhood. Assassin's Creed: Return of the Fenton. Yeah, no, I read the autopsy though. Dude died from fentanyl. Fuck that. Derek Chauvin didn't kill him. Derek Chauvin's obviously a piece of shit, putting his knee on a dead dude's neck like that. The guy is OD'd on the ground. Why you got your knee on his neck? Stop it. Anyway, stop it, Tyler. You gotta. Um, that's my bad. That's my bad for getting all George Floydy right away. First 4 minutes, nothing but George Floyd. And I guarantee, I will continue to be shadow banned by YouTube and whatever. We're working with it. We're working with it. Maybe if I title the episode "Rest in Peace, George Floyd," it'll just like fucking shoot up. I'm sure I will get more negative comments and thumbs down than I ever have, but that would be a really good idea to just be like, George Floyd died for our sins as the title of this. Obviously, a little like a black accent, like a black Louisiana, like a Cajun. I don't know. But yeah, solo podcasting sucks. I tell you what, solo podcasting sucks dick because like as soon as you hit a point where you don't know where you're going, which is the whole fucking time. I don't know what I'm gonna say when I start this shit. This is like my ninth take, you know. I don't know what I'm saying, but the stuff that sucks is even if you say something funny, there's no reaction, so it's still just awkward. You're the only one in the fucking room. Um, you know, and then when you forget something, you can't have someone jump in or remind you or anything. You have to just plow ahead, pretend like you know what you're talking about, and rant about George Floyd for an hour and a half, which I plan to not do because there's more news. There's more news besides George Floyd died today 4 years ago. Boo hoo hoo. What a tragedy. Rest in peace. You know, I'm sure he's getting all the fentanyl he wants up in heaven. Amen. Um, but this one I really wanted to talk about because this sums up the town I grew up in perfectly. This didn't happen in the town I grew up in, but it sums it up. Ohio mom sentenced for death of 4-year-old diabetic daughter who was mostly fed baby formula mixed with Mountain Dew. Oh, hell yeah. I know a guy I used to work with who reads this and thinks, hell yeah, we did it. This lady, what's crazy is the kid doesn't even look fat, but the lady, holy shit, she looks like she was also drinking Mountain Dew with baby formula. Like her whole diet is just like the cream from cows and pure cane sugar. Tamara Banks was sentenced to 9 years in prison and could serve up to 13 and a half in the manslaughter death of her 4-year-old daughter, Kermity Hoeb. Well, they should add another 5 years just for that fucking name. Naming your daughter that's child abuse right there. That's insane. And there's the child sitting in front of an 8 pack of Mountain Dew next to the garbage can in a small Ohio apartment. Not the cleanest place. But hey, you ask any fucking 4-year-old, what do they want to eat? Would you rather have chicken nuggets or Mountain Dew? They're gonna say Mountain Dew every time. And I thought that children know what they want. Isn't that how they can consent to hormone blockers and stuff like that? Because they know so well, and that bitch knew she wanted some goddamn Mountain Dew. Yeah, she mixed it with baby formula. That means it's healthy now. Couple extra calories, help the kid get going. He's a slow kid. He's a lazy kid. He doesn't have a lot of energy. So we just give him the Mountain Dew. It perks him right up. And then he naps really, really well, too, as soon as the crash happens. Unfortunately, the last nap was actually a diabetic coma, and we didn't wake her for 4.5 days. And when we did, she was smelling. She was smelling a little bit. I'm making light of this. It's very sad. It's a very sad situation. Uh, that this poor girl. I mean, I don't really like children, but it's sad to see. I just imagine if it was a small dog, and then I'm like, then it makes me sad. Children. It's like, fuck your kid, dude. Throw your kid off a bridge. But not a dog. When I see a dog get abused, that's where I'd rather see a small retarded child getting beat in public than see any dog get beat in public. The chances of me saying something to you if you beat your kid in the grocery store is fucking zero. The chance of me saying something to you if you beat your dog in the grocery store, pretty fucking high. Pretty high. I'm not saying Hitler was right about everything, but he was right that dogs were way better than people and Jews. This is a comedy podcast. So the child was showing signs of a serious medical issue for days, the diabetic coma, but her mom didn't call until 911. Didn't call 911 until she turned blue and stopped breathing. Diabetic coma. This scans later showed that the girl was brain dead, prosecutors say. Well, god damn, look at the size of this fucking beached whale. Hey, the thing is at least you either die a 4-year-old diabetic or you live to become this fucking whale. I don't know. Um, Tamara Banks. So she wasn't even married to the father of this child, I'm guessing, since it had a different last name as her, unless Hoeb is a middle name, in which case you're even worse than I thought. And not just because you're fat and you disgust me. Like obviously, fat people are disgusting. They're gross. It's like Mountain Dew culture. Like that was just like pure. That's like the stoner culture thing. Like yeah, I smoke weed, but I don't do the stoner culture thing. This bitch is not only does she eat fat stuff, she probably encourages all her friends to drink Diet Mountain Dew or Mountain Dew, not Diet, not Diet. What do we look like, fucking pussies in this goddamn trailer? Come on, man. Come on now, lady. This is Claremont County. This is Claremont County, and we mix our goddamn Mountain Dew with baby formula. I drank it and I'm just fine. I don't know why the kid's such a pussy. I'm diabetic too. It's not my fault she forgot her insulin. 4-year-olds should know to take their medication. All right. She was taking her puberty blockers every day. Why couldn't she take her goddamn uh, 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 Mountain Dew? Learn to handle your Mountain Dew. Criminy, who was nicknamed Boogie because of her silly personality, mostly silly due to the sugar high, was remembered as a smart and vibrant girl. Sugar high, according to the obituary. She knew this is really sad if you actually think about it, that there's a dead 4-year-old girl. But it's really funny if you think about Mountain Dew mixed with baby formula. That is also that is very funny. It's funny. If this didn't actually happen, if this was in a TV show, like Family Guy, we'd all be laughing. But we're not because this poor see wash your face before you take a picture. You know what I mean? It's always the worst when people take videos of their kids crying, then to take a picture of your kid where they look all disgusting with shit all over their face, and the kid's dead now. You got me talking shit about how dirty the kid is. You know, do something. Banks had a son who fell into a coma at 4 years old as a result of undiagnosed diabetes. Prosecutors noticed. Claremont County Common Pleas Judge Victor Haddad said his condition should have taught her the dangers of diabetes before her daughter's tragic death. So, um, who's so she had a son. So this fat bitch had a son that had gotten into a diabetic coma, and then she had a diabetic daughter, which crazy as fuck. You have a 4-year-old with diabetes. You know that's the Mountain Dew. You know that's the Mountain Dew and the fucking all the damn seed oils and the baby formula. Fucking shit. That's crazy. Um, I don't I don't particularly agree with you know, the father also pled guilty. Come on, did he even live there? Look at him. Yeah, probably. He's probably involved. He hasn't been sentenced yet, so despite her children suffering, Banks regularly refilled her own prescriptions and even had doctors make house calls for her medical needs. Well, there's a happy ending. She's spending 13 years in prison, or could spend up to 13 years in prison. So, if you're really sad that a child died, be happy because now the person who killed the kid is going to lose their life and probably never be the same again. Wondrous. It's wondrous, isn't it? Such a wonderful thing. 13 minutes. That's fucking it. That's all we are in. Holy shit. Yeah, so George Floyd died for this poor girl's sins so she could fucking drink Mountain Dew and not go into not slip into a diabetic coma. Uh, it's wild. This shit's wild. Um, Filed under child abuse crime, manslaughter, negligence. Ohio soda. Oh yeah, I thought Florida was supposed to be the fucked up place. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we're gonna do next. Oh, Michael Kramer is gonna make a comeback. That's fun. That's another fun thing that's happening. So Michael Richards he's doing a press tour right now. I'm hoping we get to see him on Rogan. I'm hoping he does Rogan. Boom, comeback. Comeback is imminent once he hits Rogan. You know what I mean? Um, and I think that could be good. Be good for the community. I think maybe Jerry Seinfeld should speak up. Maybe Jerry needs a new opener. Hmm? Hmm? What do you think? Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld? Jerry Springer? Jeremy Seinfeld? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Point is, I want him to come back. It's kind of fun if he were to do the whole N word freak out like today. That would be fun. He would be selling fucking tickets, dude. He would be on Legion of Skanks. Like I don't know. That's no. That's what he should. He should go on Legion of Skanks. If Michael Richards was smart, he would go on Legion of Skanks, and with with a black guy and be like, well, who's more justified to say the N word? That's one of the Legion of Skanks uh, bits. Is who's more justified to say the N word? And I think Michael Richards has earned it. He tragically lost his career due to a racist tirade. Oh, sad. Sad. What if I just did a whole bunch of 10-minute videos instead of fucking 30 minutes by myself ranting in a fucking room? Jeez. This is insane. You know what? Fuck you, Damien. Fuck you, Avery. This is your fault. I know you're watching this, and I hate you. I'm kidding. I love you. Rest in peace, George Floyd. All right, sorry, boys and girls. I needed a minute. I needed a minute to get my thoughts together and figure out what else I'm going to say about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. Pardon Derek Chauvin today. No, like Biden posted a whole thing about how well everyone the whole left Twitter is like George Floyd should be alive today. A trashy. They love throwing up statues of fucking fentanyl addicts, but fucking guns to pregnant women's stomach. He was a hero. He changed the world. Yeah, he caused a fucking summer of fucking riots. He changed LA forever when he caused every Asian business fucking in Chinatown to get burnt down. I don't know if that exactly. I just know that when anything happens to the black community, it doesn't matter who does it to them. They're just like, we got to go kill Asians. That's why Assassin's Creed with a black samurai is hilarious. Not only because if a black dude is in Japan trying to be an assassin, one of the main parts about Assassin's Creed is you run and then you hide, you blend in to a crowd. And a black guy, whether or not he existed back then, he ain't blending in. He's a foot taller than everyone. His penis is 9 times the size of everyone's there. Minimum. You know what I mean? Like there's no what is it? Was he doing whiteface or holding his eyes? He's holding his eyes like this. That would be that would be good. I would play the game if when he went to blend in, instead of doing the prayer hands like you did in the first one when you walk with the monks, he did the Asian eyes. He's doing the Asian eyes. Oh, gee, yeah. Oh, can't believe the goddamn Negroes. Oh, yeah, the Negro coming to kill us. Oh, I saw a Negro go that way. But it's George Floyd, so like, I can't breathe. Ah, it's fun. We're having fun here. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me I'm a racist in the comments below. Hit the thumbs down. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Don't hit the thumbs down. Just and don't report this, you friggin' Karens. I'm tired of getting reported, getting age gated and all types of shit. George Floyd didn't die so I would get fucking reported on YouTube, okay? George Floyd wouldn't want this. He would want me to speak his truth that he was a hero who died for the sins of the black community so Tupac could walk free again. Tupac's not in jail. So Suge Knight could walk free again. There we go. That would have been kind of funny, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, George Floyd knee on the neck. George Floyd's in the new Assassin's Creed with the Japanese Black Assassin's Creed. Fun stuff. It's not. I really hope that's not going through. If all that remains has been playing throughout this whole thing, I apologize. Even though I shouldn't have even said that because if it is, I just can't post it because it's just gonna get copyright struck as soon as I post it. And George Floyd wouldn't want that. Speaking of black people, though, why Red Lobster's downfall hits differently for the black communities? Yes, this is a real article from MSNBC. It's an opinion piece. Don't get me wrong. but it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And it would be a lot funnier if KFC had just closed down and the article said why KFC's downfall hits every black communities. They're like, why the largest watermelon manufacturer being shut down really hits black communities differently. We're gonna go live with Shaquan down at the watermelon factory. Shaquan, what are you seeing there? Oh yeah, no, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not. I'll stick to Indian accents if anything. I won't. I won't do a black accent without Avery here. Not again. Maybe I will. I don't know. Um, but this is you don't. Why does it hit differently? I don't understand why it would be different, and honestly, I don't understand why this is racist. Someone told me this is racist, and I don't see it, and I am a racist. So I don't know. Do blacks go to Red Lobster very often? I know that was kind of like a joke that was their like upper class restaurant. Like it's like take a girl on a fancy date. It's Red Lobster. Oh, I took that bitch to Red Lobster for unlimited shrimp and lobsters, y'all. Ah, shit! I did the black accent. I did the black accent. Oh God. Yeah, man. I love Red Lobster. I'm pretty sad all them Red Lobster clothes. 'Cause I used to sell fentanyl out the bathroom or the Red Lobster. I used to sell fentanyl outside the what's the name? The what's the name? So yeah, me and my buddy George, Mr. Floyd, we called him. Me and Mr. Floyd used to hang out at the Red Lobster and we sell fentanyl to the fat white bitches, you know what I mean? And then Georgie, he put a gun to this fat pregnant bitch's stomach and was like, "Bitch, you gonna pay me for the fenty?" And then the cops show up, and the rest is history. But hey, there's a statue of him outside the Red Lobster that's being closed down in Yonkers, New York. Anyway, I don't know. That accent kind of fucked up at the end, but it was. I stand by it. All right. Uh, a recent announcement that nearly 100 Red Lobsters locations are scheduled to close as part of the bankruptcy proceedings is likely to hit black communities differently. Robin Autry. This is written by Robin Autry. I'm assuming it is a black woman. It's not. It's a white woman. And not just because we consume more fish than any other group in the United States. Okay, so she is black because she's speaking in the first person. Um, than any other group in the U.S. Bill Dodden opened the first Red Lobster restaurant in South Florida in 1968, just a few weeks before Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Everyone knows you shutting down the Red Lobster is just pushing towards damn Jim Crow segregation. You want to bring it back? You want a Red Lobster and a Black Lobster? Is what you want. You don't want the blacks in the Red Lobster. Anyway, George Floyd died for these lobsters. So did Martin Luther King, apparently. Apparently, Martin Luther King, his assassination inspired the opening of Red Lobsters. So hang on, let me get this straight. Segregation was still going on in 1968. Like I'm pretty sure we were still doing segregation then. I could be wrong. I wasn't alive back then. And all the people who say they were, I think you're fucking liars and we live in a simulation. The world started when I was born and it'll end when I die, damn it. First person. Um, as he'd done with the first restaurant he'd opened during the height of Jim Crow racial segregation in Georgia, Darden insisted Red Lobster be fully integrated. We don't do Red Lobster and Black Lobster here. We just do Red Lobster. And everyone red on the inside. Even a Negro bleed the same red blood. You'll see. Customers would enter and exit the same doors. Oh my God, that's an abomination. I ain't gonna walk into the same doors as some dirty cracker. They should not have been a radical proposition, but it was and mattered greatly to black people eating out. You want to know why it mattered? Because the fucking US government made us fucking hate each other for the longest time, and they're still trying to do it. They're still causing division. That's what they're doing. That's why they're celebrating George Floyd, because they know people like me are going to talk shit about George Floyd, and then black people and white liberals that know nothing about the situation or are just too scared to offend, oh my god, are going to be like, well, you're a racist, because they do no fucking research. They don't care. They just see cop bad, black man good, black man was hurt. Rodney King, Rodney King. Rodney King was fucking driving drunk. Not to say he should have gotten the shit beat out of him, but he was driving drunk and ran from the cops, and they beat the shit out of him. I ran from the cops. You know what happened? They beat the shit out of me. There wasn't a bunch of whites rioting downtown fucking Belvedere because a cop pistol whipped me fucking 7 times, and I fucking was, got a traumatic brain injury from it. No, no, of course not. Why? Because I was committing fucking crimes, allegedly. So obviously, if you, I mean, it's FAF. Not to say like cops shouldn't. I think most policing is completely. Uh, I can't think of the word. Illegitimate. That's it. I think policing is mostly illegitimate. I think elected sheriffs are cool. That's fine, but I don't like the police thing, because police officers, the chief police is appointed, and then anyone can just apply where it should be. A sheriff is elected, and then he gets to choose his deputies. It's a whole thing. But point is, point is, people committing crimes who get killed by cops, it's still sad because someone died, and that cop shouldn't have killed that person. But if that person wasn't committing the crime, guess what? They wouldn't have gotten, they wouldn't have OD'd on fentanyl with a white dude's knee on their neck. That's what wouldn't have happened. You know? If you weren't driving drunk and ran from the cops, they wouldn't have beat the living shit out of you, and your whole community wouldn't have had to go and burn down Chinatown or Koreatown or whatever it is in LA. I don't know. They all look alike. Asians, not blacks. I would never ever say that about blacks. I know at least 3 different black people that all look different from one another. So I don't say they all look alike. Asians, though, for sure. Like, fucking who can tell one between the other? If you mix them with a Mexican, those Filipinos, that's wild. That's a wild one. Anyway, so Martin Luther King, I forgot. I fucking completely. I just went off there. Um, so he wanted it to be fully integrated. Then Clarence Otis Jr., who in 2004 became the CEO of a restaurant's parent company, Dardencourt, and thus one of a small group of black Fortune 500 leaders, was later interviewed by NPR's Ed Gordon, who said, two of your restaurants, one that's been around for a mighty long time, Red Lobster and Olive Garden, are, oh, you son of a bitch, you get out of here with Olive Garden. That's not a favor to the minority community. What, because it's unlimited breadsticks? You trying to say we're poor? Fuck you, dude. As an Italian, I find that offensive. I find that offensive, and whoever wrote this article, fuck you. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You racist piece of shit. How dare you talk shit about Italians that way? Otis replied, we look at the demographics of our consumer base all the time, and we know that African American community in the Latino community, we know that in the African American community, don't do the comment, and in the Latino community is what you should have put. Both Olive Garden and Red Lobster are very strong. Why though? Why? The question is why? It's because unlimited soup, salad, breadsticks, unlimited scrimps and lobsters. What is that? Oh God, that's what I get for counting like a German. You never do thumb finger, damn it. That's German shit. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, well, yeah, it's because they have unlimited everything. So that's where poor people go, and most minorities, if they're first generation immigrant, and even the second generation ones, are generally going to be poorer until they, because like when someone comes over here, they're gonna be poor as shit. It's like all these illegals who I work with. They all live in the same fucking house. There's like 9 of them living in the same house. You know, they're only paying like $100 each in rent, and so they're saving all this money, but they're still, for all intents and purposes, poor. They're poor people. They have no generational wealth. They have nothing. They came from somewhere with nothing. And I'm not saying they should be here. I wish they were all deported, every single one of them. I'm talking about the ones that I work with. And the ones I don't work with. If you're illegal, you should be deported. If you're watching this and you're in America and you are here illegally, get the fuck out of my country. Get out of here. You got no right, dude. You got no right to fucking take my welfare, bitch. You have no right to take my boomer grandpa's social security checks. God, I just keep getting so off track and forget what I'm saying. Olive Garden, Red Lobster, yeah, poor people, yeah, and then okay, yeah. So I was saying that, so they're poor, and then their kids will normally end up being successful, but they'll go to college and stuff. So when they're growing up, of course they're gonna go to Olive Garden, go to Red Lobster and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's poor people. It's a poor thing. And yeah, the black community is poorer than the white community if you put them side to side, for sure. And the CIA had a lot to do with that. And and by the CIA, I mean rap music, drugs, the cartel, like everything. Every problem in the black community is because the U.S. government. That's the thing. It ain't white people. It's the U.S. government. Even if it like, I get like they, because before they were only doing it to the black community and now they're doing it to everyone. And so now, like, oh, now that you're doing it to white people, you speak out. No, I thought it was wrong before. I thought it was wrong before. I was actually a pretty big lib when I was a kid, before I had any experience with police officers in jail and black people. Um, and then, and then I met a bunch of them, and they were all violent. And this is a comedy podcast. So, black people, comment and let me know. Did your local Red Lobster closing really affect you and your family? How do you feel about that? How would you feel if the local Popeyes chicken shut down? Would you go to KFC? And if you prefer KFC and that one was shut down, would you go to Popeyes? Comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Fucking shit. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing, dude. This is fun though. I hope there's at least one person still watching this. If you are, thank you. I love you. Let's be friends on Twitter. Uh, he thought both Red Lobster and Olive Gardens were favorites in the Blacks community, not just because of the food, but because of our entire history going back to our founder who believed in hiring people of all genders, ethnicities, back at a time when that was not popular. Yeah, it was really tough to hire non binaries back before they existed. All genders. There's fucking 2. Jesus. This is wild. Black customers are among the most loyal. No, they fucking are. I guess you mean loyalty as in return customers, but I guarantee they fucking stole the salt shaker every time. A friend who fucking always wants to hang out but steals something from my house every time is not very loyal. You know. I this is a racist podcast. Oh, thank you for watching this racist podcast, everyone. Sure, we like fish a good deal. Red Lobster represents something like a strip mall version of the beloved fish fry. Down Louisiana way. But we like being treated equally, even more. And at Red Lobster, they don't treat you like a black lobster. They treat you like a red lobster. They don't treat you like a shrimp. They treat you like a man. All right. Darden's approach to an inclusive casual dining became the model nationwide. Of course, they were just going to make the whole thing just a fucking a giant black dick sucking contest. Like, that's it hits differently for black communities because this is the most inclusive place possible. It's like when they fucking made Black Panther and said it's the most diverse movie ever. No, it was the most black movie ever. And not really. Medea is way blacker than Wakanda was. Because they ain't gonna make anything as nice as Wakanda. You know, that's what's funny. There's that meme uh of like Africa if slavery didn't happen, and they show a picture of Wakanda, and then the joke of well, a white guy created Wakanda because that's who wrote it originally. Yeah. So fun stuff. Fun stuff. So Black Americans taste Red Lobster followed economic trends as working and middle class diners opted out for the pricier $25, $30 per person casual dining experience over fast food seafood options like Captain D's and Long John Silver's. All of these places are disgusting, by the way. I I can't afford McDonald's anymore, but even if I could, I would still buy it before I went to Red Lobster. McDonald's at their worst is better than Red Lobster at their best, or Olive Garden at their best. Olive Garden is shit. It is the most garbage food in the world. That is just proof that like black people say that they can fucking cook, but they can't. They just smother everything in barbecue sauce and fucking salt. That's why they all have high blood pressure and diabetes. I also have high blood pressure, but what are you gonna do? Maybe stop eating breaded Long John Silver's and fucking deep fried Red Lobster. I don't even know how you prepare lobster, if I'm being honest. Never had it. Never had lobster, never had crab. Had crabs, but not crab. No, I never had crabs either. Um, that was one I was hoping I'd be able to get. Because crabs, it seems like it's like the most, like, it's the least evasive of all the STDs. You know, you got chlamydia, which they say it doesn't really, sometimes it doesn't even affect men. They don't even know they have it. But if I did and I'm dripping green shit out of my dick or burned a pee, that's fucking tough. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I would really enjoy that. But forgot what I was saying. Uh, oh yeah, crabs. Crabs though, it's just like it's a pinch every now and then. It's itchy. It's itchy, which is like I've had jock itch before. You know who hasn't? What dude who has done jujitsu and not gotten jock itch before? So, um, I just feel like it would be like the least big deal. Like herpes is really not a huge deal. Yeah, I just pointed to the scab on my lip. Um, but it pops up once a year. It doesn't really do anything. It kind of tingles a little. It feels a little cold, probably why they call it a cold sore. And then you just spread it really easily. And people get offended when you have one, but it's like, yeah, it's not as bad as chlamydia, but chlamydia is curable. So is crabs. That's why those are more ideal. I mean, on a scale of STDs you don't want, on the top is HIV/AIDS, then herpes, then after that, men don't really care. After that, men don't really give a shit. Even like people are like, oh, but what about HPV? You know that causes cancer in men and women. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I hear that shit. Everyone's got HPV. If you didn't get vaccinated for HPV before you became sexually active, you have HPV. And let me tell you something. I've never fucked a virgin. Tell you that much. You don't end up with a fucking scab on your lip. Fucking virgins. Well, unless they punch you because you told them you were also a virgin, then you would get a scab on your lip. But that's a different scab. It's not a love scab, that's a hate scab. This is from the love of another woman's pussy. The CNBC reported in April that Red Lobster was seeking a buyer as it looked to avoid a bankruptcy filing. Thai Union, the restaurant's largest investor, is cutting ties. No pun intended. No pun. The Thai Union is cutting ties. If you're just listening, I did a. Is there? Let's see if one of these does it. Nope. Jesus. Man, I forgot how much this shit sucks. Oh wow. Sorry about that. If you just turned it off, I don't blame you. Ugh, that was rough. That's. It's also kind of rough to. I can't imagine actually. I have to ask Avery. That's why I really wish Avery was here and he wasn't handing out fentanyl at the George Floyd Memorial, because if he was here, he could explain this to me, explain this whole fish lobster thing. Because I know like lobster used to be like the poor man's food until suddenly rich people realized they liked it because it was literally just poor folks that were like throwing a little, or maybe it was crab. Either way, it's all, bro. They're fucking sea cockroaches. They literally look like giant cockroaches in the water. That's fucking disgusting. And people are like, oh, it's delicious. You just gotta steam it. Fuck that shit. I bet if I ripped its tail off, it would just be some weird fucking goop shit. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I want a weird goop, I'll eat out a girl and chlamydia with chlamydia. So the Thai unions cutting ties, many are left wondering how the national seafood change has come on such hard times. The answer has to do with unlimited shrimp and lobster, you fucking dumb shits. No, but they're saying it's ongoing executive turnover, mismanagement, and bad real estate leasing agreements and ill advised promotions like endless shrimp. Oh, look, I called that one. I win. I win. Other factors like COVID's blow to the restaurant industry and the changing tastes of younger generations have worsened the chain's financial outlook. Has um the restaurant industry crashed that bad? I know like a lot of places went out of business during the pandemic in states that didn't stay open or have the option to stay open. But I feel like now the people who are gonna dine are gonna dine. Like I know, like there's this whole subsect of American culture that thinks that they need to wear a mask forever now, and that everyone is diseased and disgusting because the media manipulated them, and that's kind of their fault because they're retarded. But to be fair, if we didn't live in a modern society where it was survival of the fittest, they would have died already. They would have died. Dumb people would have died a long time ago. And you wouldn't have to deal with them. So what are we even doing here? What are we even doing? Fucking George Floyd. I will be very surprised if this gets any views at all. Because the last two episodes, man, YouTube did not want to fucking show people this shit. I tried searching for my last video on YouTube, and it literally, YouTube was just trying to correct me. It took me like 20 minutes to search out my video by the full name because it was like, "Are you sure you didn't mean this?" And or it said showing results for this instead of Tyrant House Co. So please help us beat that. Subscribe, like, share, call me gay. Um, oh, one last thing I wanted to talk about. I know I kind of skimmed over Michael Kramer, but I agree with him. I think he should come back. But marijuana has surpassed alcohol as the drug of choice for the first time ever. Huff puff surpass. So I just want to say, actually, that's a good thing. That is a good thing that there's more daily smokers of weed than daily drinkers of alcohol, because chances are a lot, not all, but a lot of the people that became daily marijuana smokers used to be daily drinkers. And the drinking is going to kill you. The drinking is going to hurt you. The drink's going to fuck you up. It can cause high blood pressure. It can cause anemia. I know that because I have both of those from drinking too much. And what am I doing right now? I'm drinking, not smoking weed, which is wrong. And I should be smoking weed. But there's this giant outcry right now, like, because, like, that's part of the whole culture war thing of just like, okay, we're saying no to trannies and we're saying no to marijuana. Just good old cocaine and alcohol, baby. Woo! Like, what the fuck are we doing here? These people, this anti-marijuana movement that's happening against the pro-marijuana movement is insane because all these people drink alcohol. If you don't drink alcohol or do any drugs, and I mean prescription drugs too. If you're taking Xanax from your doctor or some antidepressant from your doctor, well, you're doing the same thing that someone that's smoking weed daily is doing. They're just doing it in a different way than you, and you don't approve of it. And okay, who gives a shit? Live and let live. Just let people do their thing. People are upset because they have to smell weed when they walk down the street. Well, I'm upset that I have to smell cigarettes when I walk down the street. But guess what? I don't own the fucking street. No one does. And if I did, I would ban smoking on it. But I don't. And no one does. And you shouldn't, because this is America and we have freedoms, we have liberty here. And one of those things should be being allowed to smoke marijuana. And I mean, I guess you really shouldn't be. I mean, but if you're downtown, what's wrong with walking? Smoke a joint when we walk down the street. I smoke joints in my backyard. Can you imagine if my fucking neighbors were just railing online about fucking, oh my god, it's disgusting. My kids are here, this, that, and they're fucking getting hammered, shit faced in front of their kids. Like that's what's hilarious too to me. When people are like, hey, don't smoke weed in front of my kid. Well, they're sitting there with a fucking whiskey talking shit to their wife. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're a way bigger piece of shit than me. That is way worse for you than weed ever could be. Ever could be. Like, I'm not saying that there aren't some people who get violent on weed, but the amount of people who get violent from alcohol compared to the amount of people who get violent from weed, it's, I mean, it's just a giant chasm in between them. Like, it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to say, to say don't smoke weed in front of the kid, but you can drink in front of him. If all your family is over drinking in front of your kids and you don't want anyone to smoke weed in front of them, I believe you're doing a disservice. Either say nothing around the kids at all, don't even drink in front of my fucking kid, or like I would, if I had a kid, I'd rather have someone smoking weed in front of him than drinking in front of him. I don't want him to smoke weed. I don't want him to ever smoke weed. I would, even though I am a weed smoker. I don't do stoner culture. I think stoner culture is retarded. People who celebrate 420 are either children or retards, and children are retards. So what do you do? So I'm not a fan of that whole shit. That's not my thing. But I do see a lot of good uses for marijuana, and the number one is being an alternative to alcohol and heroin. Like, because a lot of people, again, not everyone, but a lot of people who have found no other way to get off alcohol or heroin was able to get off it with marijuana. So, and people that they react badly to medicine, marijuana. And people will say, oh, well, what about these side effects? The long term use. What's the long term use of being on Prozac for 20 fucking years? Your brain's never going to be the same. It's way worse chemicals, made up chemicals. It's shit that's made in a lab compared to a flower you found. And don't get me wrong, you can eat hemlock and it's going to kill you. If you drink hemlock, it'll kill you, and that's a natural substance. But we know that marijuana has more positive properties than negative. And alcohol has more negative properties than positive. And for some reason, the Sagar and Jetties of the world from fucking Crystal and Sagar are so upset that people are smoking weed. Why? Because they don't want to smell it. But I guarantee you they go home and have a nice stiff whiskey before they fuck their white wife. So just miss me. Miss me with that shit. Smoke weed. But don't talk about it. Just fucking smoke it. Don't talk about it. Don't be a weed culture guy. Just say it should be legal and fuck off with all that fucking. I don't like this smell. I don't like the smell of your cigarettes or your fucking cologne, faggot. Damn, I was hoping I was at a full hour because then I'd be like done. But now I feel I'm actually kind of in a zone. But so marijuana use surpasses alcohol as the drug of choice for the first time ever. Puff Puff surpass. A new survey reveals that cannabis among U.S. citizens is now more commonplace than drinking alcohol. We are winning. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon reviewed decades of data and found that more people are using marijuana than ever before. And I actually pulled it up on Braves AI. Braves AI, which is apparently better than whatchamacallit, Google AI. So key statistics, daily or near daily marijuana use has increased by 269% from 2008 to 2022. But in 2008, there was zero states that had legal marijuana. Maybe one, maybe California. It was either California or Colorado, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't until 2012 that they legalized it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But I'm almost certain it didn't become legal until then. So obviously you're going to have a giant increase because there is a giant set of people in America that won't do a thing if it's illegal. But if it's legal, they'll try it. It's kind of why some people have people who think marijuana should be legal have an aversion to legalizing cocaine or heroin, is because there's this whole subset of people that only don't do a thing because it's illegal. But if you made it legal, they would happily do it. And cocaine and heroin are some of those things. I think Joe Rogan's even talked about how, like, he's like, yeah, if it was legal, I might want to just want to see what all the hype is about. And I don't. Please, for the love of God, don't. It's horrible. Heroin is, I mean, it ain't no coming back from that. You never recover from smoking crack or doing heroin. You only live to deal with it and never do it again. If you're lucky. My brother's still out there getting fucked up, you know? But so that giant increase, of course, that's going to happen because all the people that would never do it because it was same when it was illegal. My mom fucking would never allow me to smoke weed. No one in my family would. Now, all the family gatherings, me and all my cousins are smoking weed. Why not? What's the big deal? Daily or near daily alcohol use has decreased by 7% during the same period. My dad was not involved in that statistic. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in 10 years. But no, I mean, okay, so you have this giant increase. So there's a whole bunch of people who probably would have never smoked weed who decided to start smoking weed, but they probably would have never drank alcohol anyway. So whatever. But then you have, I mean, that 7% decrease, that's a good decrease considering alcohol, I'm pretty sure, is the most popular drug in America. It always has been. I mean, they did a whole we did a whole prohibition out here. But where's the other thing? Oh yeah, the implications. This is what I liked that Brave showed me this, Brave browser on their search. The shift towards marijuana may lead to changes in the alcohol industry, potentially resulting in mergers and fewer beer sales. I think it would actually be the fewer beer sales that led to the merger because if this brewery now it can't it's underwater or upside down, whatever you call it, they're making less money than they're spending. They're going to have to sell to someone bigger. So there's going to be either they're going to have to merge with another small company or they get bought out by Anheuser-Busch or something, which honestly Anheuser-Busch um might knock off some of the things that they bought because they were way up there. And then that whole Bud Light boycott, and Shane Gillis brought it back. Don't get me wrong, but the economy isn't what it used to be. And then the other implication is the cannabis industry is expected to benefit from the reclassification of marijuana as a less dangerous substance, leading to an increase of access to funding, research, and investment opportunities, which is good because we'll finally be able to figure out if it's like the negative effects and the positive effects, because all the old studies that were done were all propaganda studies that were funded by like medical industries. Like they're like, oh, marijuana, you can overdose on marijuana. And how did they test that? They put a mask on a monkey and just forced fucking marijuana smoke down its throat into its lungs until it died because it wasn't getting oxygen. That's why it died. So, I mean, we don't have accurate studies, so it'd be nice if we had this stuff. And then maybe, just maybe, George Floyd wouldn't have died if cannabis had been legal. Oh wait, no, he died from fentanyl. So yeah, he would have. Um, Follow me at Tyrant House Co on Twitter and I guess Instagram. I don't really use that, but Twitter, I'm always on there. Let's fucking go. Follow Damien at Sir Damesky on Twitter and Instagram, and then Avery on Instagram at Lil James. Type in Avery Cozy. Just search my friends. Type in Avery Cozy. That's where he is. I don't remember his at. Sir Damesky is fucking easy. Mostly because I used to think it was. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. Fucking don't report. Stop. Stop. If you're one of the people that keeps reporting this shit, fucking stop it, you dirty, dirty pussy. You got sand in your vag, you fucking.